Did you know most MSPs actually struggle with prospecting? Now, what is prospecting? Prospecting is the process of identifying who your dream customer actually is and then taking it one step further and saying, hey, how do we actually go about targeting them? In today's video, I'm going to be going through exactly what you should be doing to start prospecting so that way you never have to worry about where's the next sale, where's the next lead coming from. That way you have a consistent flow of leads, people that you can actually sell services to, and you can build your MSP. How are you doing? My name is Harrison Barron from growth-generators.com. We help MSPs just like you build and grow their businesses by teaching them how to sell their managed services for more money, creating better clients and more high-paying clients, and also teaching you how to generate an unlimited number of leads into your business. If you'd like to learn more, head over to growth-generators.com. We have tons of information there. Our flagship MSP Heroes program, which is great for all MSPs looking to build and grow their business. On top of that, we have a resources section that is fully loaded with tons and tons of resources that you can use to build your MSP that are completely free in most cases. So go over there. I will leave some links down below. So let's talk about MSP prospecting. And here we have our handy dandy whiteboard because I'm going to be going through some concepts, some things that you can understand and you can start doing. That way you never worry about where your next sale actually is. So first, let's talk about prospects. Now you're probably wondering, Harrison, why do you have a whiteboard today? And I am in the office. This is the new office. There's an office video coming very, very soon, so you're not going to want to miss that. But let's talk about prospects, right? We have a variety of different prospects, and hopefully you know who you actually want to deal with. Now that could be doctors, that could be lawyers, that could be accountants, that could be truly service-based businesses out there. There is a list of customers. Now, if you're in the mentality of anybody with a computer can be a customer, while that technically isn't incorrect, it's definitely not the most correct. Remember those annoying choices back in the day that you had to, what's the most correct answer that we had to answer back when we took tests? But the important thing is to understand that we have to worry about prospecting. Now, this is going to create a bit of a flywheel, but I want you to understand, and my goal with this is to teach you the concept of continuous prospecting. Because the worst thing that's going to happen is you're going to watch today's video. I'm going to draw some stuff up on the whiteboard. And then in 30, maybe 60, or maybe even 90 days from now, you say, okay, well, I'm out of leads. I'm out of deals. I'm not exactly sure what to do next. So we're going to go through and we're going to break down this process here. And typically I'd like to start with a nice little circle. Now I am going to make some breaks in this and we're going to continue to create what's called a flywheel, and it's going to go in a direction. But let's start out with a circle. Now I apologize because I have to turn around and write things, so there will be some edits in this video, but we have a healthy MSP. This is hopefully where your MSP is going to be, right? This is the most important thing when it actually comes to building an MSP. You want a healthy MSP, not an MSP that's going to suck you dry for your time, for your finances. I just had a conversation quite literally this morning, somebody charging $20 and $30 per seat. I know, it's terrifying, and I was just as scared as you are. Halloween was a couple weeks ago, but it's important. Our goal is to get to the point where we are a healthy MSP, where it provides for our future, our kids going to college, our mortgage, our dream cars, whatever it is that's important to you. We want that to be what your healthy MSP actually provides. So the first step of this flywheel is we have to find our target. Now we are not hitmen. I have to keep that in mind. We are not hitmen, but we have to have our dream customer. In this case, our target customer. I'm just going to leave it for target up there because truth be told, my handwriting is not that great. But we want to have some kind of a target. We need to know who we're focusing on. And the reason I say that everybody with a computer could be a customer, yes, that is potentially true. However, in most cases, going through and trying to target everybody with a computer is going to drive you crazy. Let me explain. Just in my new office building alone, I have 2 therapists, 2 financial advisors, an embroidery business, and a construction company. While technically they could all be customers of an MSP, it's going to be crazy trying to pivot and adjust and make sure that you provide the right questions to them so that they believe that your MSP is the right target. We want to make sure that we pick somebody that we happen to hopefully know a little bit more about, and I have my little person here, a little bit more about, so that way when the time comes and push comes to shove, we know exactly who we can help with. Now, if you're thinking, well, Harrison, I want to focus on accountants, great. Or if you want to focus on doctors, great. There is a variety of great industries out there. Your job is to pick one of them. For the MSPs that are like, well, I'm not going to have one, I'm going to have 3 or 4 or 5, then you should watch this video 5 different times and make a different target for each one. Do you see how it becomes a real pain in the butt quickly? I promise you, this is the right way to do it. Pick one. If you want to go after healthcare, that's fine. If you want to go after health tech, that's fine. But those are 2 different industries, and it's very important to remember that. So we want to have a target. We want to have that dream customer. Now, after we have that dream customer, we need to move on to the next part. I'm going to just scribble this out here and just draw an arrow because this becomes a revolving circle here. Next, after we know who we want to target, we need to reach out. I know it sounds crazy, but we have to reach out to our target audience. If we're not reaching out to our target audience, how on earth are they going to know that you exist? Yes, you absolutely can go do search engine optimization, but there has to be something that you start doing actively. SEO is a fantastic strategy to grow your MSP, but let's be real. SEO takes months, and that is me putting it lightly. Sometimes it can quite literally take years, and what I know from SEO just a couple years ago has dramatically changed because of the AI revolution. AI is taking over. It's on Google, it's on your phone, it's on Facebook. We all probably pay a ChatGPT subscription. It is everywhere, and that's great. It makes our lives easier, but it also makes our lives harder. And in today's changing landscape, we have to be ready to reach out. Now, what does reaching out actually mean? We could make cold calls. There are plenty of opportunities for cold calls. There's opportunities for cold emails. Heck, take your legs out and go walk around and door knock. You have to reach out. There has to be something that you end up doing to get in front of prospects. It's really important because this key step is the thing that truly makes or breaks a healthy MSP. Now, the next step in the process, because there's plenty of ways to reach out here, we have to do another break in here. We have to move to the next step, and that next step is follow up. We have to make sure that we are following up with our dream customers. Believe it or not, the fortune is in the follow-up. It doesn't matter what you're doing, what you're buying, or how you're buying it. It is very rare that a customer says, yep, let's do business, and then boom, they jump into it. Especially when you, watching the video, are the ones reaching out. You have to know who you're actually targeting. You have to know that you have to reach out to them, however you choose to reach out, right? Phone calls, emails, text messages, door knocking, the list goes on and on, mailers as well. And then we have to follow up. We can't stop here. We can't only do half the job. This is a 4-part circle, and if we only do half, we're not completing the cycle, and ultimately, we end up not having a healthy MSP. And this knowledge comes from tons and tons of MSPs that I've been able to work with. I've probably spoken to well over 1,000 different MSPs at this point. And the beauty of it is, one, most of them struggle with this, but the ones that are succeeding have this ironed out in their MSP. But before I get into the 4th one, and probably the most important thing, if you could hit that like button, subscribe button, and that notification bell, it helps out the YouTube channel dramatically. And also, truth be told, it helps pay for this office because this office is far from free. But I wanted to make the best content for you as the viewer. But we have to follow up. Now, follow up can be a variety of different things. It could be getting back out there, walking door to door and knocking again on the people that you actually reached out to already. It can be mailers for follow-ups. It could be email follow-ups. But whatever it is that you choose, heck, you could use your phone and pick up your phone and call people is another great opportunity to actually go through and follow up with them. But whatever platform that you choose, pick a complimentary one. So if you are walking door to door, follow up with an email, follow up with a phone call, follow up with walking door to door again. I promise you, these are the things that are going to make a difference. Even if you go and you know who your target is and you reach out to them by going to a networking event, guess what? They're probably not saying, hey, take my money. I wish that was the case, because if that was the case, well, I don't wish that was the case, but I wish it was the case for you, because then I probably wouldn't have a job anymore. That's not reality, though. It is so incredibly rare somebody buys it on the spot. We have to take the time to educate them, to bring them through our process, and to see if we really want to work with them. We may not want to work with them. Keep in mind. Now, after we follow up, we have to go to the fourth part of this process. And step 4 is book a meeting. So I'm going to break this again because we have to continue this process. And then we want to do, I'm going to just write BAM here for easy, book a meeting. We need to make sure that we are booking meetings from our follow-ups. Nobody is going to buy services on an email. They're only going to buy services after you follow up and you've probably booked some type of a meeting. But if you don't go through and you don't plan on booking some type of a meeting with them, you're never going to end up moving forward. This is going to cause cash flow problems in your business. This is going to cause headaches in your business. And truth be told, it stinks for everybody. But this, believe it or not, is the cycle that you actually need to follow, on top of hitting the like button for this YouTube video, because it helps build the channel. And I appreciate you for doing it, right? But we need to know who we're actually targeting. There has to be somebody specific. If you go into this building and try to door knock everybody, unless you're selling internet, it's never going to work. And even then, it's still going to be a tough sell. On top of that, you have to be reaching out to these people. Now, reaching out and door knocking is a fantastic thing. But once again, we need to know who we're targeting, because more often than not, we can provide specific information on who we're actually targeting. It doesn't matter if you're targeting an oncologist, it doesn't matter if you're targeting optometrists, if you're targeting biotech, it literally does not matter. But you, as the MSP expert or IT expert, probably have some insider knowledge on your dream customer. This is going to dramatically help the way that you reach out to them and you target them, because now we can have a conversation. You have something specific, insider knowledge, that's actually going to end up helping them and allowing you to reach out more. Next we have the follow-up, because the fortune is in the follow-up. If you're not following up with people regularly through this process, it becomes really, really challenging, because you might have had a great conversation. And I've had great conversations with companies that, you probably guessed it, didn't follow up. I would have been a buyer. I was interested in their services, but they didn't want the sale enough. They let it die on the vine. And that's the worst thing in the world. They put all the effort into targeting me, to reaching out to me, and doing half of the battle. But then they didn't follow up with me. And I simply was able to walk away, not paying for something, not getting a tool that could have dramatically improved my business. Now, in most cases, most business owners know that if it's going to help them. But if you don't have that conversation or follow up with you knowing that your MSP is the right solution for their business, what could you possibly expect after that? So we have to make sure that we're following up with them throughout that process. And then after we follow up, the deals are never closed in a quick little call. The deal has to be closed in a meeting. These companies are spending thousands, if not tens of thousands, and maybe over the lifetime of them, hundreds of thousands of dollars with you and your hopefully healthy MSP. It's really, really important that we make sure that we take this really, really seriously, and we book a meeting constantly going through this process, because booking meetings allows us to actually sell. It allows us to go out. It allows us to provide a fantastic service for companies. It allows us to build our business, but also it shows that we want to actually help. If we're not booking a meeting, how do we know that that prospect is the right customer for us? How do we know if that prospect is actually interested in our services? We have to go through and figure out if they're a good customer for us and if we're a good MSP for them. And then last but not least, because this is a continuous cycle, After you book a meeting and you close them, you should be constantly targeting more customers. Now, it doesn't mean that you can go from doctor's offices over to accountants until you are completely tired of going after doctor's offices. And I'm not talking physically, I'm talking you have exhausted the doctors that are going to be in your area that you can actually work with, which, depending on where you are, is probably way more than you actually think it is. Then you shift your target. But if you're going after dentists, let's just say, if you want to target dentists, you should be targeting the dentists that are probably closest to you first. You don't want to have to get in the car and drive really far to go do work. You want somebody in your backyard that you can constantly be helping. After you target them and you've reached out, followed up, and you've booked a meeting and closed them, then you can start targeting more dentists that are probably on the 10 to 15 minutes away or 20 or 30 minutes away, and then so on and so forth. But being an expert in one industry almost always works better for your MSP and allows you to actually build your MSP bigger and faster than all of your competitors. This is the secret sauce. I have been holding it back while I have been building this office, and more surprises to come in a little bit of an office tour here in the very, very near future. But I want your MSP to succeed more than anybody else. Probably almost as much as you do. That's why I build these YouTube videos. Yes, do they help us build a business where we get to provide an amazing coaching service under MSP Heroes for people like you watching? Absolutely. And I'm not going to sugarcoat that. It's how I now provide for my family and my foster child and my 10 chickens and 3 dogs. But healthy MSPs that are building a business that truly makes a life that that business owner wants to live, makes for a great environment for technicians that love going to work every day and aren't going to the point of burnout. This is the process. Because if you follow this process where you're constantly bringing in new business, employees can then get raises, you can pay people more money, you can provide better services or better, and when I say services, insurance or perks, right? Maybe lunch once a week or however you decide to run your business. This is the process. And the MSPs that truly struggle with prospecting and knowing who they're going to go after are the ones that fail constantly. I wish you nothing but success in your MSP journey. Hopefully that you've liked this video, subscribe to this channel, and hit the notification bell. And if you want to learn more, head over to growth-generators.com. We love to help MSPs just like yourself. And if you have questions, by all means, I'm going to put, because I put the golden nuggets at the end, if you want to grab time on my calendar, a free discovery call to learn more about us, or maybe even just get some free pointers on your own business, I'll leave a link down below. I love the heck out of you guys, as always, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye. Dude, that was a good video, man.